Trinidad gave this gift to the countries that are using it and experiencing it, and to allow students to play this instrument and expose it to the culture without teaching them about Trinidad is an injustice.
It's interesting that you should talk about the need to let kids in the US know where the pan comes from, because that is also something we at the Carnival Institute, we have great plans to deal with that. But the reason for these plans, I have to think, why am I doing something before I embark on something that is so grand as to educate people in another country? I mean, after all, how many people know where the saxophone comes from? It's actually a Belgian called Adolphe Sax who invented it. But I don't know if John Coltrane knew that, or where the piano comes from. Or indeed, what is a piano as a development of the harpsichord? It's actually called the pianoforte. It means you can play soft and loud. Why is it necessary to know the social and cultural background of pan? Because I think it is necessary. And the reason why I think it's necessary is because, unlike, say, the saxophone or the piano, which is the wonderful instruments, I love both of them, is because the pan in its creation and in its sort of raison d'etre, even today, is more than, and it's different from just music. It is more like a social movement. It's a sense of belonging. That is one of the great achievements of the steel band and one of the inhibiting blocks stopping its further development. Steel band grew up where people, as they still do, learn by rote. Everyone knows you go in a pan yard and you could hear all-stars play the same 5 bars 300 times because they're now learning it. Because the heart of steel band was not like every other form of performance art, the final product. You perfect it privately and you go out in public. With pan, we invite the public from the beginning to come into the pan yard and be part of us. It's like you invite the public into your home to see you as you wake up in the morning and you're making breakfast. And that is how you become part of it. I mean, when I was a child, when I was a little boy, you didn't have to play a pan to be part of a steel band. And one of the rites of passage of a little boy was to push pan. And I mean, I could remember that was a very, very deep, visceral pleasure of being part of a steel band by pushing a pan. And to this day, Trinidadians don't understand that the belongingness that made it acceptable that you take 3 months to learn one tune, or rather 3 months to learn your part of one tune, was acceptable because the end result was not to make a musician of you. The end result was to be with your people, to be with your posse, with your boys. You would do them every night. And that was an important part of the pleasure. And there's still some of that. When you go in the pan yard and you listen and you lime and you drink a beer and you will talk and you hear them playing until the tune grows on you. In a way, the complex panorama tunes, you come to love it because you've heard it so many times. So all the intricacies, you become familiar with them. Whereas if you hear it for the first time, it sounds kind of, you don't follow it. So all of this is part of the achievement of pan, the sense of belongingness. And I say it's part of the achievement, but it's also part of the obstacle. Because in a sense, the communities that gave birth to pan, to a large extent, barely exist. A steel band, Renegades, many of the bands, they're no longer this tightly knit neighborhood group. Sometimes you see some of that. You see vestiges of it when Desperados come out, Love Until comes out. I mean, Phase 2 still have a particular crowd. Invaders have, the over 55 crowd of old Invaders people. So but it's vestiges. And the challenge of the steel band movement is to move from that into the modern world. And from my point of view as a director of the Carnival Institute, in a sense, to teach the young panists to be musicians, because that's how you will give the instrument to them. And I say that in the context whereby my daughter, for example, my younger daughter, she was in Invaders for a little while, and she went there and they put her on the cello pan playing the William Tell Overture. Now, I don't know how many 16-year-olds want to play the William Tell Overture. I mean, I like the William Tell Overture, but it's not 16-year-old fare. And if I cast myself back to when dinosaurs roamed the earth, and I was myself a teenager, I couldn't think of anything more horrible than having to play the music my parents liked and be an organization run by my father. And that's no disrespect to them, it's just the way of the generations. So, as I say, these are some of the challenges the steel band movement is facing.